done. Ladybug, grab my. I'm gone. I'm gone.
Do you like that shit?
Do you like that shit?
Do you like that shit?
He used what I got left on my hips. Play with his ass. Play with his ass.
Do you fucking cracker?
Professional MMA fighter?
Yeah, Jon Jones.
I have 4.
Whoa, Jon Jones.
Yeah, all girls.
It's crazy, right?
Yep, I want a son so bad.
I have a 3-year-old baby boy.
He also met a girl who became pregnant with his first daughter. In 2007, Moses, who stuck with Jones, got pregnant with his second daughter. He was 20 years old and already drowning.
More like just having put my finger in your butthole.
Most UFC fans are already familiar with Jon Jones's out-of-the-cage drama. The scandals, the arrests, the drug use, failed drug tests, all of that, the domestic abuse, suspensions, there's so many things. That part of Jon Jones's story is very, very well known. But what I'm about to talk about today is something that a lot of fans have not seen or heard laid out very clearly. And once you see this full timeline and start to understand the entire picture that is Jon Jones, his entire legacy and his entire career, and even his life starts to seem like a sham, and it just changes how you look at what the UFC calls their greatest of all time. So stick around to hear the full story. My name is Wyatt. Welcome to Fight Society. What's going on, guys? Before we get into the video, do me a huge favor, like and subscribe down below. And if you're watching on your phone, do me a huge favor, swipe left on the comment section and hit that hype button for me as well. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Before we fully dive in, I just want to kind of like lay out a few rules. Everything that I'm saying here, yes, there will be opinions that I put out there. I will have my own opinions and I will interject plenty of times my thoughts on different details and the story as a whole, of course. But everything that's being presented to you is publicly available information, either from well-respected journalists or from Jon Jones's mouth himself. So I'm not presenting hearsay. I'm not presenting a whole bunch of gossip. I'm actually doing a serious look into what goes on with the best fighter of all time in many people's eyes outside of the cage, because it's utter chaos, even more than the things that we already know about. So this video really truly isn't about making things up or even making Jon Jones look bad. It's about holding up a mirror to Jon Jones and comparing and kind of lining up what he said publicly, the way that he has called himself like a good guy and a good father and all these different things on the internet, in interviews, on Twitter, and lining that up with what actually goes on in this man's private life with children and of course some other stuff that we'll get into as well, and asking obvious questions that arise as you look into this more and more. Now, before we go any further, I do want to be clear about one thing. MMA Guru has already covered at length the long-running speculation around Jon Jones's sexuality. I will be talking about certain details about that, and I'm not going to pretend that that portion of Jon Jones's story is new information to a lot of you. You guys are watching MMA YouTube. I think that a lot of you, or all of you, have seen the MMA Guru video and know the memes and the lore and all of that. So I'm not going to act like I'm presenting some sort of new information in that regard. Credit where credit is due. So yes, credit to Guru for breaking and pointing out a lot of facts about, Jon Jones potentially, or probably in my opinion, being gay. But what I haven't seen clearly laid out is the picture surrounding Jon Jones's children, even based on Jon Jones's recent comments, like saying that he has a baby boy. And that's the part that we're going to walk through very carefully before we get into the whole sexuality conversation about it. So this video is not intended to slander. Like I mentioned, this is just an investigative video talking about the lies that, in my opinion, the lies that Jon Jones tells the public and the UFC fans versus who he really is as a person. This right here is the clip that sent me down this entire Jon Jones rabbit hole in the first place. I literally just spent hours going down different Jon Jones rabbit holes, and there's way more crazy things about Jon Jones's life and who he is and the truth about him as a father, a husband, and just as a person than even the things that most of us know about, because most of us know about the car crashes, the DUIs, the arrests, failed drug tests, but there's even more things than that. And this is what sent me down that rabbit hole, is Jon Jones talking about his arthritis, which we will get to. But the main part I want to focus on is him saying that he has a 3-year-old baby boy.
And RAF. That's what I want to see.
Are you gonna do it?
Bro,
I have severe arthritis, and most people don't know that. My left hip is covered in arthritis.
Damn.
I actually already qualified for a hip replacement.
Oh shit.
My last training camp, dude, I went to bed in so much pain.
which honestly, that sucks. And Jon Jones has paid a serious price for the fights he's brought us over the years. I respect him as a fighter in a lot of ways, but as a person and as a cheater, and even a cheater in the cage, I can't say I respect him. He's incredibly talented, and I do respect that at least. Kind of a side point. The arthritis is more of a side point, and that sucks, but this is where the interesting part is right here for me.
Is he gonna cover it though? 100%?
I have a 3-year-old baby boy. And I want to use what I got left in my hips to play with his ass.
Hell yeah.
He said, I want to use what I got left in my hips to play with his ass. That's crazy considering the gay allegations. But anyways, I'm kind of joking. I know that he's just talking about playing with his son and not being in too much pain. I understand that, of course. But it's just kind of funny the way that he frames that. Now, I didn't know this. Now, it's pretty obvious to assume that somebody that's had 30-something, 31, 32 professional MMA fights, and some of them wars and all of those training camps, and out of like 30-something fights, I think he's only had like 7 that weren't a main event. Because he's been a UFC, I think he's got like 20-something UFC main events. So he's been in 5 rounds a lot. Those are different type of training camp. So his body has taken a beating over the years, of course, and then all of the damage that he's done to his body outside the octagon with substance abuse and all of that. But many fans didn't know this, and this is not rumor. This is not alleged. This is straight from Jon Jones's mouth. Now, I'm sure that he didn't really want this to hit the public. You can see even up here, it was recorded on Ray-Ban Meta glasses. He probably didn't know that this guy was recording. Maybe he did, but it doesn't even matter. He probably didn't know this guy was recording. And so he wasn't intending for everybody to know he has a bad hip and a child that we didn't know about. And apparently that might not even be his only secret child. So Jon Jones interview on the Joe Rogan podcast 9 years ago, December 1st, 2016, almost 10 years ago, is them talking about Jon Jones wanting to have kids. And it's honestly a really, really weird conversation. And it's him and Joe Rogan talking about a procedure where Jon Jones would have to make sure he has a child, make sure his next child is a boy.
What do you give a shit?
How old is your kid?
This one that was on my lap was 6.
Oh,
That's my
do you have?
youngest. I have 3.
Oh, great.
I got a 20, I got an 8, and I got a 6.
20-year-old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
How many you got?
I have 4.
Whoa, Jon Jones.
Yep. 8. I went 9, 8, 6, and 3. All girls.
It's crazy, right?
Yep, I want a son so bad.
All girls, I want a son so bad. Now we find out that, of course, this is years later. Now he has a 3-year-old son, but he very well also could have a different son, which we'll get to in a moment. And this son was kind of referenced a couple of times. Like right here, there was this old tweet where Jon Jones said about a year and a half ago, I was just granted 50-50 custody of my son. I'm the happiest dad in the world today. Now, what's interesting is that Jon Jones doesn't have a son that he claims along with his family. His partner for a long time, Jesse Moses. I don't know if they're girlfriend and boyfriend, married. I know they're not married. I don't know if they're engaged, boyfriend and girlfriend. Like it's been years and years, kind of the same way that Connor was with Dee Devlin before they got married this year or last year. But this right here is the only mention that Jon Jones ever made of his son. He said, I was granted 50-50 custody of my son. I'm the happiest dad in the world. And years before, he was talking about how he wanted a son. Everyone was confused about this because you have like Nina Drama is saying, congrats, Jon, God bless. But then you have some people saying, didn't know he had a son. Other people talking about how I hope it works out for you. Does he know you used to be a fighter? But then other people are like, poor kid and shit like that. The end of my custody battle for my son was the happiest day for my life as well. So as you can tell, there is a portion of the fan base that knows exactly who Jon Jones is by saying poor kid. But then there's the other portion of the fan base that just thinks he's a good guy trying to get custody of his kids because he talks kind of softly and they think he's a good guy. But the child referred to in this tweet is not one that he claims along with his partner, Jesse Moses, and the 4 daughters that they have together. So we have a little bit of a timeline to fill in because Jon Jones has been with Jesse Moses since he was like 17 years old, I think. And for him to have a 3-year-old daughter that is not with her, pretty crazy. So now many of us remember when Jon Jones was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame along with Alexander Gustafsson for their first fight, which was a crazy war. And that's actually the one where the famous Joe Rogan, he didn't even train. People forget, man, he didn't even train. That's where this comes from. And then after that ceremony, Jon Jones was arrested, and right here it says disturbing details have been released about Jon Jones's latest incident via TMZ. Jon Jones allegedly pulled his fiance's hair and then headbutted a police car, leaving a dent in the hood and chipping paint during his Las Vegas arrest. This right here is on MMA Fighting, and this is the phone call that was made by Caesars Palace Security to Las Vegas PD about what happened. And you hear some very disturbing details about what happened with Jon Jones. And all of this loops into him having the 3-year-old son mentioned in that clip.
Metro Police, Flores 18405. How may I help you?
Hey, this is Eduardo with Caesars Palace Security.
Hi.
Hey, we've got a possible DV call, domestic violence call. Female is bleeding from the nose and mouth.
Female is bleeding from the nose and mouth.
Where this happened at?
We believe it happened in the room. She's not admitting to any domestic violence, any physical violence. But I mean, she's bleeding from the nose and mouth. She's down with us while the male is up at the room. And he's actually a professional MMA fighter, Jonathan Jones. And she's like refusing to go back to the room. We're trying to.
He's a professional MMA fighter, Jon Jones, and she's refusing to go back to the room.
Like have her grab her stuff. And she just.
You said he's a professional MMA fighter?
Yeah, Jon Jones.
He's like, yeah, Jon Jones, you know, the Jon Jones.
Yeah, it's a little weird because she's trying to get assistance, but she's refusing to go back up to the room.
Okay. And she's insecure.
It sounds like his fiance, Jesse Moses, is covering for him, knowing that something happened, but she's covering for Jon.
Are you holding right now?
No, she's on the casino floor, and I believe they're her 3 daughters. She has three young girls with her.
Are you guys
3 daughters with her? So she has blood on her face and mouth. She's down at the casino floor at Caesars Palace, and she has her 3 daughters with her. The way that I interpret this is that Jon Jones beat his wife in front of his 3 daughters.
out with her on the casino floor?
Yeah. So we're with the female. We believe the male is by himself up at the room. We haven't made contact with him at all.
Okay. And do you have a name for her at all?
Jesse Moses.
Jesse Moses, that's his fiance.
And is she white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
I believe she's a white female.
I believe she's a white female is a crazy way to phrase that. Oh my God. And what's crazy is that phone call led to Las Vegas PD officers going to Caesars Palace and arresting Jon Jones. And as they approached, they were like, this is probably Jon Jones. And it was Jon Jones. How crazy is that? So this is that clip right there.
He's like 6.
Dude, I saw that pop up.
But he's
like professional.
Bro, I was like, I bet you it's Jon Jones.
It's funny. We were like talking this shit about yesterday.
It was like.
Talking to you about it or fucking someone else?
He said it's I was like, I bet you it's Jon Jones. I look in the thing, it was like Jon Jones, and I seen his girlfriend on the thing too.
That's what I said.
Well,
I was like, oh, I know who it is.
She's the skinny white girl.
Very clearly turned out to be Jon Jones. And this is what happened once they arrested Jon Jones. So keep in mind, Jon Jones, in this one night, this dude is like literally living out the plot of The Hangover in Vegas. Like it's some crazy shit. He gets inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, goes on a bender, comes back, beats his wife in front of their 3 children or 3 of their children. And then this happens.
Thank you on my fault. A black man can't drink. And getting elected into the Hall of Fame, and now this is what I got. You fucking cracker! You fucking cracker!
And some cop goes, Hall of Fame. And that provoked Jon. He goes, you fucking cracker. Dude, that's crazy. Dude, this is so zesty right here.
You fucking cracker! You fucking cracker!
Relax. You all right? You all right?
Crazy.
You have anything in your pockets, man? What did I do? What did I do?
Saying, what did I do immediately after beating your wife, allegedly, is crazy. I mean, that makes me think that Jon Jones is schizophrenic. Multiple personalities. That's insane.
You fucking cracker! I fucking fucking other prison fucking officers. I fucking hate you. I hate you.
Oh. And then he headbutted the cop car.
I fucking hate you. No, please don't. Okay, that's breathe, bro.
And that's what got him put in the car.
Guys, please don't.
Anyone call it out yet?
And it's right there. You can see it. He literally dented the hood of the cop car. Imagine how hard you have to headbutt that shit.
I didn't do nothing. Yes, sir, please. I just
John Mary said, no suspect just snagged his head into the hood of one of our patrol cars on the freeway jet.
John, all my friends are brothers. You need to chill out. Yes, sir.
I don't have this in my car. Northcut's car.
Yes, sir, I am.
We'll get you on video doing this.
Northcut.
Stupid move.
Northcut, where are your keys?
Very stupid. Please, baby, don't do that. Don't hurt me, please. You did it, sir. Yes, sir.
And then he starts saying, "Don't hurt me, please." That is literally such a crazy microcosm of Jon Jones. Beats his wife, damages property, police property, and then says, "Please don't hurt me." That is like the ethos of Jon Jones. Kind of excuses himself for everything he does wrong and then still says, "I'm just trying to be better. I'm chasing legacy," all this shit. It's insane. Now, this is where that new son that we didn't know about comes into play, because after that clip came out, because you see the Jon Jones footage right here, it says Jon Jones arrest footage. He was arrested in 2021. This footage came out February 24th, 2022. He tweeted the day before that footage leaked, bro. "My fiance left me about 2 months ago. Today she finalized that she won't be coming back. If you are a Jon Jones hater, have a toast. I feel like shit." I mean, bro, you allegedly you beat her up fucking viciously in front of your children. What do you expect? And so he's saying at the end of February that she left 2 months ago. That incident was September of 2021. That means that she stayed for a little while after this happened and then left. And then he went to Twitter to cry about it. Now, obviously, I understand, because if you're with somebody that's abusing you, you should leave them. But this right here, fast forward 1 year, essentially 1 year from this tweet, because this was the end of February 2022. Fast forward to March of 2023. Jon Jones returns at UFC 285 to fight Ciryl Gane, wins in the first round. And who is in the cage kissing him and celebrating the win? Jesse Moses. And he weirdly kind of acknowledges the domestic violence. This right here said Jon Jones became UFC heavyweight champion Saturday night in Las Vegas with his fiancée Jesse Moses in attendance to support him. Moses' appearance likely came as a shock to MMA fans who follow Jones closely, given the last time he publicly acknowledged her was in February 2022 when he announced on Twitter that she left him for good shortly after an alleged domestic violence incident at a Las Vegas resort. But there she was in a bright pink business suit kissing Jones before he stepped into the octagon at T-Mobile Arena. In September 2021, Jon Jones was arrested, booked. We saw that. Okay, we saw that. We already know about that. The domestic violence charge was later dropped as a part of a plea deal with prosecutors. And then this right here, Jon Jones, this is admitting to what happened essentially, but Jon Jones has the best lawyer in the world because he beats her up and she leaves him. And he only has to pay her $750 in restitution. Along with a court order to stay out of trouble, Jones was ordered to pay a $750 restitution. And then he had to pay a misdemeanor charge of destruction of property at $250. So that whole incident, of course, lawyers' fees were probably insane. But as far as actual penalties paid to the state or the city, $1,000. How crazy is that? And she left him. She threw him a little $750, huh? The fight. I want to thank my beautiful fiance, Jesse, for being my biggest support. I love you so much, my biggest supporter. Now, he declined to address all of that during fight week, but then he said, thank you to my fiance, blah, blah, blah. And then in the post-fight, he brought up run-ins with police, including here in Las Vegas. Now, Jon Jones, in 2013, March 4th, 2013, that is coming up on 13 years ago. He said, at 11 o'clock sharp, we gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Her name is Olivia Jones. Then he says, shout out to my girl, Jesse Moses, for going 3 for 3 with no epidurals, #stud. About time to change that last name. And 13 years later, he still has not changed her last name. Now, Jon Jones and Jesse Moses were separated for essentially it would be like the end of 2021 up until sometime before UFC 285, which was in March of 2022. So if Jon Jones has a 3-year-old son, 2026, that means that sometime between this tweet and this picture, Jon Jones got another woman pregnant. So I don't know if he got her, I don't know if he cheated on her while they were back together or if he got somebody pregnant while they were separated, but Jon Jones has a 3-year-old boy that we did not know about. What most people don't understand or don't know is that this is not the first time that Jon Jones has stepped out on Jesse Moses to have a child. And so here we have a story that is a Deadspin article way back talking about Jon Jones's life early on. It says after graduating high school, that would be graduating in 2005, Jon left his family and his girlfriend Jesse Moses in upstate New York to head off to not one of the big traditional wrestling powers, but to Iowa Central Community College. In his first year, Jones won a national championship in the 197-pound division and led his school to a team title. He also met a girl who became pregnant with his first daughter. The next year, Jones transferred to Morrisville State College, a D3 school an hour and a half north of Endicott. If things had gone differently, maybe Jones would have transferred again, won a D1 championship, and made the Olympic team, or maybe he would have retired from wrestling after graduating and become a cop. But in 2007, Moses, who stuck with Jones, interesting that she has stuck with him through a lot of shit going back to 2005. In 2007, Moses, who stuck with Jones, got pregnant with his second daughter. He was 20 years old and already drowning. And you'll even see in this article right here from 2011 by Mike Chiappetta that first daughter was kind of ignored. They've kept her out of the public eye since Jon Jones became a professional MMA fighter. Because here, quick break, if you're loving this video and you want more from Fight Society, click that join button down below to become a channel member today, where you'll get access to members-only live streams, behind-the-scenes vlogs, and all the unfiltered stuff that we don't post to the main channel. Back to the video. On the day that his girlfriend Jesse went into labor with their first child, not his first child, but their first child, Jones was 250 miles away on the road to Atlantic City, New Jersey to fight. Faced with the prospect of missing his child's birth, Jones contemplated on the decision. Of course, he wanted to be there, but the odds of returning in time for the birth seemed remote and his family needed the money. The decision was made he would stay and compete. After listening to his daughter's birth on the phone in his hotel room, Jones went out and won his 6th fight in 3 months. It would turn out to be the most important of his noteworthy run. Within 2 weeks, he would be signed to the UFC. Interesting part of the Jon Jones story that not a lot of people know. So Jon Jones has somewhere between 4 and 6 children, maybe even more. He's been known to cheat on Jesse Moses before. He might have other children that he doesn't know about or that have been kept out of the public eye altogether. So Jon Jones, in a lot of ways, is hiding children from his wife and from the public eye, in my opinion, crazy enough, along with everything else. The car accidents, the drug use, the domestic abuse. He beats his wife, she leaves, and then he gets another girl pregnant while they're not together, and then they get back together. It's so crazy to me, but
I want to see.
Jon Jones reveals his arthritis in this clip that I showed earlier.
Bro,
I have severe arthritis, and most people don't know that. My left hip is covered in arthritis.
Damn.
I actually already qualified for a hip replacement.
Oh shit.
My last training camp.
So he talks about that, and I actually don't think he's lying because there's this clip right here of Jon Jones playing in this like Celebrity Sweat, I think it was called. It was a celebrity football game, like streamers and NFL players and all that stuff. They were all playing flag football, and this is Jon Jones defending Dwight Howard, former NBA player. And you see right here, Jon Jones, look at that. Dwight Howard runs right by him, but look at the way Jon Jones runs. It looks like he has a bad hip. Look, you see, here's Jon Jones. Look, he is running like an old dude with a bad hip. He's stiff, especially right there. He kind of trips up a little bit. You see him running. Look at him run. I refuse to believe that Jon Jones is a bad athlete. And so that just shows me that he really wasn't lying about that hip. And then after the game, Jon Jones made a short appearance on the streamer Ray. I guess he's a popular streamer. I've seen a few clips of him. He made an appearance on his stream. They were talking after the game about some crazy stuff.
What's up, family? Where are you from?
I'm from Taiwan.
That's cool. No, I was in Thailand though.
Oh my God, Thailand.
I love Thailand.
You don't know Thailand?
We know Jon Jones loves Thailand. This is what Jon Jones gets up to in Thailand, guys. Here he is here, wrestling with Hasbulla, and is rock hard wrestling with Hasbulla. I mean, literally, no wonder why he was mentioned in the fucking Epstein files, dude. Like, not even joking. Jon Jones was actually mentioned in the Epstein files. I mean, right here, he bought a Jon Jones pay-per-view. But we know what Jon Jones gets up to in Thailand. You see right here, where he's on a scooter right here with just some random, like, Dagestani-looking dude grabbing his hair. Look at Jon Jones' eyes, bro, and sniffing him. And look at that. That is insane. We know you love Thailand, John. We know you love Thailand. And Ray says, do you know what happened to me in Thailand?
Thailand. Bro, you know, ladyboy grabbed my dick. I'm God.
He said, on God, like backing that up. And then
they grabbed my dick.
Do you like
I
that shit?
God.
Did you like that shit? Yo, that's insane. Look at this clip.
Oh, you know, ladyboy grabbed my dick. I'm God. I'm God.
Do you like that shit? Do you like that shit?
Do you like that shit? I'm God. They grabbed my dick.
Do you like that shit?
And then he gets behind him, and because Ray said that he kind of half liked it when the ladyboy touched his dick, Jon Jones is like, hold on, let me scout some prospects, is what Jon Jones said, basically.
Appreciate you.
And look at Ray's face. You see right here, Jon Jones, when he approaches you from behind like that, this is how most guys' faces are after. You know what I mean? And of course, there's the famous deep dive that MMA Guru did, exposing Jon Jones for being gay with things like this.
Everybody here will give you a hug on your way.
Everyone here will give you a hug on the way out. Synapses. Jones liked that idea, but it's not enough for him. A hug is not enough. What would Jones rather people let him do to them on their way out of the comedy club, out of nowhere?
I'm more like the type to put my finger in your butthole.
I'm more of the type to put my finger where?
Wait, what? Whoa. Hold on.
Jon Jones is gay and a deadbeat dad, in my opinion, that is hiding children all over the world, all over the United States. We really don't know. And to be clear, Jon Jones being gay doesn't make him a bad person. That's not the thing that makes him a bad person. That's never even been the issue, except for when he's, trying to impose his will on somebody like Hasbulla or Ray, who I don't even know if that Ray guy is 18 years old. But what is being criticized is drug abuse, domestic violence, cheating on your wife, being a deadbeat dad, and ruining multiple UFC. Like, there's so many things with Jon Jones. We know it. Ruined events, ruined the Aspinall fight. But I will say very clearly that him being gay is not what makes him a bad person. Now, in response to that clip of Jon Jones talking about his arthritis, he addressed it in a one-on-one interview with TMZ Sports. And he said, the UFC knows the extent of my arthritis. They also know that if I were to put it all on the line one last time and endure that level of pain, the reward would have to be something special and something more than a fat payday. And for me, that was and is still the White House. So he is leveraging his way into a White House fight, likely against Alex Pereira. We have yet to get a White House main event announced yet, but this is it. Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira is what both of these guys want. They've both called for it. And you know who's going to get screwed because of it? Because there's rumors going around right now that the UFC is talking about whether they're going to strip Tom Aspinall and make this fight for the undisputed heavyweight title, or if they're going to make it for the interim title. But I think the UFC is a little tired of interim titles right now, because if you look at the layout for all of this, it would mean that Alex Pereira has to leave the belt behind at light heavyweight and they do a vacant belt there, or they do an interim belt and Alex keeps his 205 belt. And then this would be another interim belt right here if they don't strip Tom. But what it looks like, I think what they would really do, if they're really in a pinch, if we get to mid-March and there's no main event for the White House, they're going to strip Tom Aspinall and they're going to do this for the undisputed heavyweight title, which is fucking insane if you really ask me, because Tom Aspinall sat out to fight this man for basically the better part of 3 years, if you include the one fight that he had with Curtis Blades, and then he sat out He sat out for a year before the Curtis Blades defense, and he sat out for a year after that. And now, after getting poked in the eyes by Ciryl Gane, and now having his entire career put on hold or even over, the man that ducked him is potentially going to fight for a vacant belt that the UFC takes from Tom. So Tom, the good family guy, the respectable gentleman that got cheated against by that French fuck, Ciryl Gane, is going to get screwed yet again. Possibly the worst treated fighter in UFC history. Definitely the worst treated champ, besides maybe a couple of the older ones. I know the UFC used to fucking abuse their older champions like Jens Pulver and shit like that. That guy, Tom Aspinall, waited patiently for the Jon Jones fight, didn't get it, got cheated against, and had his vision potentially forever changed. And now the guy that has beaten women, had children outside of his marriage, drunk driving car accidents, hitting pregnant ladies, deadbeat dad with children hidden, is going to take Tom Aspinall's opportunity. Before anybody says I hate Jon Jones by saying that he's gay, because people are going to be like, oh, you just don't like Jon Jones, so he's gay. That's just an interesting piece of the puzzle, because he's gay or he's bi or whatever it is, because he has a bunch of kids and he's hiding some of them. So he obviously does like women. But does he also like men is the question. It certainly seems that way. And I think that there is a possibility that they do this because, let's be real, Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones sells a lot more. Gets a lot more clicks, gets a lot more viewers than Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Rematch for the undisputed belt. So, yet another scenario where merit takes a back place to spectacle in the UFC. I already know what's coming. Jon Jones fans are going to be like, oh my God, you made a video talking shit about him. You hate him so much. They're going to say I'm a hater or that I'm jealous that I never became a multi-time world champion fighter. I already know. And the average Jon Jones fan will overlook the arrests, the abuse, ducking contenders, cheating in fights with eye pokes and low blows and with steroids, and also cheating on his wife, having children outside the marriage. They'll forget all of that, but they'll draw the line. That's all good, but they draw the line at somebody saying he's not the GOAT of the sport. That sends people into a frenzy. I don't think Jon Jones is a bad guy because he's gay. I already said that. I think he's a bad guy because of everything else. Him being gay is just a interesting detail to add on to that, especially considering how much evidence there is. And I'm incredibly frustrated that the UFC rewards this type of behavior. They do it with Conor McGregor too. There you go. There you guys go. For all of you that say Conor McGregor, dick rider, Conor McGregor apologist, all that stuff, they do it with Conor McGregor too. Conor's done a bunch of terrible shit and they get preferential treatment. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this fight and then McGregor Gaethje or something like that on the White House as well. One thing that's also really, really interesting is that Jon Jones seems super gay to me. And here he is in Chechnya with warlord Ramzan Kadyrov, who might be dead from what I'm seeing. He might have died. I don't even know, but he might be dead. Speaking, that's another crazy thing, but he's spending time with Ramzan Kadyrov, who actively hunts down and kills trans people, special needs people, and gay people. He has them castrated or killed in Chechnya. If you're gay, I mean, like, that's crazy to me. And Jon Jones, a gay man, is hanging out with him. It just shows you what money you'll do. What's that old young nudie shit from that interview? That, look at what that money make a bitch do. That's Jon Jones. Now, there you guys have it. Jon Jones, a homosexual man, in my opinion, a deadbeat father that has children hidden all over the world, a disgusting, rotten woman abuser, and also potentially like on some Epstein vibes with the way that he got hard for Hasbulla. And on top of all of that, he's going to be stealing an opportunity from Tom Aspinall, the guy that he ducked. How crazy is that? The timeline we live on, man. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you guys next time. Do you want more from Fight Society? Like and subscribe below this video and click the join button to become a channel member today to get access to behind the scenes vlogs and members only live streams.